Hi, fellow traders. Hope everybody had a great day today. Know the day was better than yesterday. Not much going on yesterday. I guess everybody was kind of waiting on the day to come. But I did have a trade yesterday. It was just a carbon copy of the failed top reversals that we've been looking at for the last month. So I'm not going to waste time going over something that I've gone over 100 times. Plus, I'm sick of looking at them. And I know you probably are too. The only good thing was I recognized it early and I didn't sit there and stubbornly wait for it to stop me out. I did cut it off when I realized it was going the wrong way and ended up with the 10 or 11 cents off the move. So not bad. Didn't end up red. That's always a good thing. Today, I was out for the morning. We'll be out again for the morning tomorrow. I'm having to get a couple of procedures done. You know, I'm once you get over 40, things start breaking and you have to go in and fix it and get it tweaked and all of that good stuff. So I've reached that 40 mark and it's time for everything to, start getting tweaked and put back together and renewed or rejuvenated or whatever you want to call it. But I'll be doing that again tomorrow and should be in about the same time. But tomorrow I may still be under the effects of the anesthesia. And if I am, I'm probably not going to trade because I got to trade when I'm sober. I don't want to trade when I'm not in my right mind. There's no telling what I might do. But should be in, around lunch again. But today, the first ticker I was looking at was SM, and this was it hit our scan as a top reversal. And it hit, let's see, somewhere right in here. And when I was drawing the levels, I did see one here like 24.50ish, but I didn't draw it because I would have traded off of it, and that was not the place to trade this because of how close the 9 was, and I wanted to stretch out a little bit more. I was looking at this level here, 24.87, and this is where I wanted to base my trade off of. Now, this would have been a trade where you had to kind of anticipate or build a position as it's going into this because it never gave you a 5-minute candle to confirm where it gave you enough room to make sense for the trade. Always on these reversals, I always use the 9 as my first profit target. Now, if you don't believe how important these moving averages are, when a stock starts trading around these, watch level 2. You're going to get some activity. And around the 9 moving average, around the 20 moving average, just like around the VWAP. And just like when you hit a level of support or resistance, there are people out there sitting, they're buyers and sellers sitting at these levels. And I met a guy in North Carolina a couple over the Christmas holidays who trades for a hedge fund, big hedge fund. And he's trades for several of them. And after what he told me, that's when I started paying more attention to the 9 moving average and the 20 moving average. Because he showed me some things on their computer model where they take out these, it's just designed to take us out. Because they know that retail traders use these moving averages. They know retail traders use these, the daily support and resistance. They know we use a VWAP. So it's just a game. Us against them is pretty much what it is. The more retail traders they can take out, the more money they're gonna make. But I gained a newfound respect for the 9 and the 20. By looking at what this guy showed me. So it was pretty interesting. But this was, anytime I get in a trade, I've got to have enough room between here and the 9 because that's always gonna make my first profit target. And again, here at the 20, this was a perfect trade if you were able to get in, here. Just depends on your entry strategy. For me, I almost took it because I was watching level 2 and I was watching the shift. I was watching the bid thin out. I was watching the ask sticking up. More people were coming in on the ask than you had on the bid. The sellers were coming in, the buyers were getting exhausted. And it was a perfect scenario. I just didn't take it. With me, I like to wait for confirmation, even though I'm at the point now where I can see that and I should be able to react to it. I just don't. I just wait for confirmation. So I didn't take this trade, but this was a good setup. And I did keep it on my watch because if it came up and failed again, I might have been interested in it. But what I didn't like was these big candles, that it went right back to the 9. So I was watching the 20 trending up, and this thing put in a higher low. And automatically, I'm looking at, well, this thing tested twice. It's putting in a higher low. I think this thing is going to gear up and pop, this level here. And sure enough, that's what it looked like. Now, these were the patterns that I traded when I was coming up, when I first started. Remember, I didn't have any studies on my chart. I didn't have a VWAP. I didn't have the VWAP. I didn't have the moving averages. I didn't have any of that stuff. Let's see. Let me show you what it looked like. Okay, I'm going to remove the studies off my chart. This is what it looked like. What I was looking for right here. You're making higher lows. It's starting to gear up to push this level. Once it closed above this, and you got to confirm by a candle opening above it and starting to push up, that's where you enter. Now look how far away, where my ideal entry should have been right here. My ideal entry should have been right here on this candle. This is where I should have bought it. You make it green because this is exactly where I should have bought this on this setup. And like I said, this is what I traded when I first started. This is all I look for. Every day, all day long. I did not like shorts. I only like the long setups. That's all I traded. And this is all I look for. In a bear market, these things were hitting left and right. And, I was just bringing in the profit. Even though I was trading smaller, I was still rolling in some profit, which was good. Now, the only thing I could use in order to get out of these trades was I had to wait for like a 2-minute candle to make a new low. And then that would trigger me to get out. But now when I added my studies, it helps me manage the trade a lot better. I still see the setup, but here I'm managing the trade. I've got a profit target that I set for 25.75 because that's where this upper deviation band was at the time. Now I did push up as the stock pushed up, but I set my target based on this. Then it almost hit it. I mean, it was 25.75. That was my target. It did run up to 79, but that was pretty accurate. And this, my profit taking, when I'm up here and I don't have moving averages or anything or levels of resistance to take profit, then I start using my 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 2-to-1, or whatever the case may be, that's when I start looking at taking profits. When I get 2 to 1, I'll take it, or 3 to 1, then kind of go from there. But right here, I was late getting in. You see, I didn't get into right here. That was a late entry, and I got in too heavy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I loaded for bear, and you just don't do that. Even though the setup was kind of safe, if this thing had dropped 10 cents, I couldn't even let it go to the 24.87, which is where I wanted to base my stop off of, because I was just in way too heavy. And that's what caused me to cover here a little bit too early. I just couldn't stand it. It wasn't making that move up. I thought I would get an instant resolve into the 50s where I could cover half and then let the rest of the trade work out. But I didn't. I had took some here and then took some here. So, I had taken half my position off in these two covers, or these two, sells. But then that gave me enough conviction in the trade so that I can let it work. I didn't let this scare me out. Even though I was concerned about it and I'm thinking that, hey, maybe this is a fake breakout, I stuck with it because I saw the 9 trending up, saw the 20 continuing to trend up. The VWAP is trending up. When all of these things are trending up, and the price action is telling me that it's continuing to move up, I'm going to stick with it. Now, once this thing loses the 9 moving average, then I'll take it off, because that tells me this trade is dead. My plan is dead. But once I took this profit, I was in the money pretty good, so my stop automatically came back here to break even, in which I never had to exercise it because it did pretty good. And I did get out here 25.50. That was a profit target, so I went ahead and hit it. I can't remember the exact amount I hit it for, but I think it was 55. Then my ultimate target was 75, and I went ahead and hit it. I thought I was going to have to manage this on the road, but I didn't. Thankfully, it popped up right when I was getting ready to shut down my computer. I'd rather exit it, before I shut down than to try to manage it on my phone driving down the road. That's a little bit dangerous. And it's no telling what would happen if this thing went south on me quick and it dropped $1, then I might lose it and want to wreck somebody. So it's really not safe to do that, and I'm not advocating it, and I probably shouldn't have said it. So forget I said that, and forget I mentioned it in chat. I don't do that. But that was that trade. Worked out real well. Even though I covered too soon, I was in heavy enough to where it didn't really cost me much. Still came out to be a real profitable trade. So can't really complain about it. This is, if I can drag this over, this is where I am so far this month. Started out with 2 red days and just kind of picked it up ever since. Yesterday was pretty slow, but it was because the day was slow. There weren't many opportunities. And if I could do this tomorrow, I'll be a happy man. My week is set. As long as I don't go backwards, I think I'm doing pretty good. So I hope everybody has a great evening. Hope you, or a great morning. I hope everybody does well tomorrow morning. I'm going to be out the first part of the morning, so hopefully you'll get some good trades and book some big profits before lunchtime. It's always a good thing to be in the money before lunch, because when you go back and hit that reset button, you've got that confidence and calm about you that just makes the rest of the day go by pretty good. So everybody take it easy, and I'll see you tomorrow in chat.